So how to build a 6 and 7 figure med spa and generate 6 and 7 figures in revenue. So there's 3 things that you want to focus on. So you want to know your target clients. You want to strategically choose your location, and you want to know the value in your services. Okay. So know your target clients. So the most of the med spa services that most of you will offer are not considered medically necessary. Let's kind of put that out there. Some of these services can offer, you know, good results and can help with a lot of maybe conditions, but they're maybe not necessarily medically necessary. Hence the reason why aesthetic services and most med spa services, IV infusions, that's why it's the reason why they're not necessarily covered under insurance. So you have to understand that your target clients know that they're paying for a luxury medical service. Okay. So you cannot discount and shortchange yourself, your services to meet someone's price. And so that is something that you should be aware of, and that's going to be helping you in determining your prices for your services. The people that come into your med spa or inquiring about a specific service, they meet a certain demographic and they meet a certain criteria, and everybody's target clients won't look the same because it will depend on your experience, it will depend on your location, it will depend on the types of services you're offered, it will also depend on how you're marketing your services. So but just know that these services are not your average services. They are elective, they're not mandatory, so your pricing will reflect that. So your demographic, the income demographic for a med spa client is most likely going to be above average, and your service and prices should reflect that. Okay. So keep that in mind, especially when you're doing your market research and you're searching and you're trying to figure out, okay, how should you market? Okay. So your target clients may like a certain luxury, and you know that, okay, well, I'm going to probably offer this service because I know that the clients that I'm targeting can afford that service versus another service. So you have to know your target clients and you have to know who you want to target. So choosing your location. And so this is so important in any business, any business that involves having a physical location. I can't tell you guys how important this is. I actually had a client that had a great model plan for her practice. It was, she followed all the directions I gave her, but she didn't have a good location. And so the type of patients that she was trying to acquire and market to did not live in the area that she was leasing for her office space. And so therefore she had to move locations. It wasn't that, she wasn't doing all the right things and she wasn't marketing. It just was not a good location. So choosing a strategic location is so important for your med spa. Now, I know that some of you may be offering services mobile, and that's okay. Knowing what areas and cities is also important. So it's just as important as choosing a physical location. So you shouldn't try to, cover, if you're going to market your services, you probably don't need to market to the entire region that you live in. You may need to strategically focus your marketing on a specific select zip codes, and those are the individuals that you're going to be targeting, even for your mobile services. So your location should be attractive to your target clients. I mean, your target clients, if they shop there, if they work there, if they frequent that area, they probably are more willing to visit your location and receive their services. So you don't have to start with a large place. And I know a lot of times when we're starting a new business, we think of, we want this amount of rooms and we want the waiting room to be like this. And sometimes when you're just starting out, guys, that is not the case. Sometimes you have to start smaller. I started my practice mobile, and then I went into a one room, like 120 square foot executive suite. And I only had space for like one exam room, my desk, my chair, patient chair, and a cabinet. And that was how I built my practice. And so you can consider, smaller spaces or subleasing a space from another business. Preferably, I would say definitely if it's medical related business, or a business that fits your niche. Okay. So consider locations that attract women between the ages of 25 to 55, such as like near a shopping plaza, a downtown feeling location, boutique, hair salons, and you consider leasing a salon or a medical suite. So the salon lofts will provide a space for medical services. So if you kind of fit their clients that are in there, then they definitely would be able to have you in their leasing space. And also there's medical suites. So there are some cities that actually have locations where you can actually just rent an exam room for a specific time period. So whether if it's a couple hours a day or daily or weekly or even monthly, and that way you can kind of start on a smaller scale, stay within budget, and grow your business. Okay. I can't tell you guys how many times I've heard from not people who have worked with, but other people who've come to me later, and they say, they went and leased or bought a 3,000 square foot location, and they did nothing with it. And they had to continue paying rent because they didn't have any money left to actually build their business. So I recommend that if you are definitely on a budget in starting your med spa, definitely consider locations that are affordable, but make sure it's strategically choose your location as far as, if you know that your demographic is downtown, you probably don't want to be in a location that's 40 minutes away from downtown. You don't necessarily have to be downtown, but you want to be close by where people can visit your location. All right, so know the value of your services. So on average, medical, aesthetic, and med spa services average anywhere between like $150 and $1,000. Honestly, I don't know a service that you would offer below $150 in a med spa, but maybe something very, simple. But on average, $150 to $1,000 plus. And so, for example, lip fillers start at maybe 150. Face and cheek fillers, definitely higher. Hydrofacials, microneedling services, medical grade facials. Those services definitely are higher priced. The more technical you get, the more skill that's required for that service, definitely the more money that you want to charge for that service. So you want to know the value of the services that you are offering. So PDO threads, anywhere from 200 to 1,200 plus. Hair restoration services. And just also keep in mind that some of these services, you may not necessarily be collecting this amount of money all at once. They actually be selling them in like packages. And so, for example, hair restoration services, you may do that maybe over a couple of weeks or a couple months. And so definitely, that the total cost would be a certain price, but maybe you might charge the patient a monthly rate. Weight loss programs, if depending on the type of medication that you're going to offer for weight loss or weight management program, I would say anywhere from, I don't know if I'd really go below 300, honestly, especially with the medical weight loss I offer in my practice. It is starting at $350 per month. IV infusions. The only IV infusion that I would recommend being lower price is just regular plain fluids. So maybe, someone's just coming to you, they're not feeling so well, or they're feeling drained, and maybe you just give some normal saline. Other than that, anything else, a Myers cocktail, immunity drip, vitamin B complex drip, a beauty drip, any of those, definitely 150 and up. So let's break down the numbers of how you can generate 6 to 7 figures, or 5 to 6 figures in a month in a med spa. So with a med spa service, with the services ranging from 150 to over $1,000 per service, let's hypothetically think that, okay, if we were to see or schedule 7 patients in a day, so that would give you about $1,000 to $7,000 in services for that day. Let's say you were starting small and you were only seeing patients 3 days a week. So that would give you anywhere from $3,150 to $25, up to upwards of $25,000 you could generate in a week, depending on what services your clients are receiving. And so let's say if you're doing that full time, now, you're full time, so you're generating anywhere between 15,000. And just know here, I'm using the lower number I'm using is for the lower service. So anywhere from 15,000 to 35,000 per week. Let's say if you were doing that 3 days a week, and in a month, you could generate anywhere from 12,600 to 84,000 a month. And if you were doing that 5 days a week, anywhere from 63,000 to 140,000 a month. And so, yes, it is very possible to generate mid to high 5 figures doing part-time. I have one of my clients who she's doing so well with just IV infusions. I mean, she's planning on getting a location to offer more med spa services and aesthetic services that she hasn't even really given much thought to doing more marketing, just because she's doing so well. She still works her full-time job, and she's been doing so well with just IV infusions alone. And so generating, I think, maybe 1 or 2 days a week with her clients, I think anywhere upwards of $15,000 a month. And I mean, like, that's amazing, guys. So just, and then that also includes injections. And so I didn't include like B12 injections in the numbers, but that would also include services like that. So not to mention, if you create any packages or memberships, you're going to be generating passive recurring income from those packages and memberships as well in your med spa. So this is just giving you guys an idea of how you can generate that revenue in your med spa. All right. So as I mentioned this, and I've been saying this a lot, that research is showing that med spas generate $1 million on average in annual revenue. Okay, so I don't want anybody to think that, in 3 months, you're going to start making $1 million. You absolutely could. But the reality is, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the research, and you have to be invested in this process if you want to see 6 and 7 figure profits in your business. And I'm telling you guys, it can be done. Okay, I'm being very transparent. It can be done. You can generate 6-figure months in a business if you are willing to put in that work and that time. You cannot start this process and give up because something's not working out to how you want. So if anything you take from today is, I am encouraging you all to stay in the game. Don't give up, because you all joined this challenge because you know that you want to start a med spa. You don't want to do anything else. A med spa is your dream. I have nearly 6,000 people that I opened this challenge to, not including the Facebook posts and Instagram posts that I did. And it's about I think just less than 200 of you in this challenge. So many of you have taken this initiative, but out of the grand scheme, it's a very small percentage of you that are actually serious about this. And so I know that if you're serious about this, that you definitely will put in the work to see that income coming into your business. All right, so let's talk about the challenge. Again, please don't forget to participate in the challenge in the post in the Facebook group. So today, our challenge and our focus was learning the med spa industry, breaking down the numbers, and targeting your clients, what types of services you plan on offering. So I want you to focus on what the top 3 services that you plan to offer, the average cost of these services in your city or your area. So you can search online for pricing. You can go to Extra Step. You can actually do some real market research, wink, wink, and call other med spas and inquire about their prices if it's not online. And think about also the medications and the supplies and the equipment that you will need to offer these services. So if you know one of your top services is going to be microneedling, I love microneedling. Okay. The nurse practitioner that does my microneedling was also my client, and she started her med spa taking my course. And so she's right here in my area. And let's just say I don't mind paying for her service. Okay. So if you want to offer microneedling, you need to do some research on the different microneedling pens devices that are out there. How much do they cost? Does the company offer any hands-on training if you invest in that device? So those are the things that I want you to do in that bonus, is research the cost of the expenses. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and check out the chat to see if we got any questions, comments. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to go back up so I don't want to miss anyone. So Bo said, IV hydration, waxing, facials, chemical fields, melanated skincare education. Awesome. So you are very targeted, and I like that. Average cost in Charlotte is $122.50-ish. I would say, Bo, that you probably want to do a little bit more research. If you did your research, great. But I would say that there's some services or maybe some locations that are probably charging a little bit more for services than $250. Felicia said IV hydration, Botox, and incorporating services for the prenatal population. That is so targeted, Felicia, and that's awesome. And so make sure that you guys join tomorrow, because we're going to be talking about finding your niche in this industry. So Bo said Botox not only for skincare, but hyperhidrosis and migraines. Yes, 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 yes. You can absolutely offer Botox for a wide variety of medical conditions. TMJ is another one. So TMJ is a very, you can definitely offer that for that as well. Let's see. So will you be sharing where to get training on some services, microneedling, Botox? So Merlin, if you go back to yesterday's live replay, in the comments, I did share some companies that offer training, and as well as some of the other group members did share that as well. Thank you guys for being so active in this challenge. I'm really excited for all of you. You need to say, can you recommend pharmaceutical for IV hydration, B12 and B12 injection, population elderly? Okay, so there's a lot of compounding pharmacies that compound for infusion. My pharmacy of choice is Olympia Pharmacy, and I recommend contacting my rep. Don't call their main number. Go through my rep and tell him I referred you if you want more information about there. But Mike Vaughn, he's awesome. And he's actually going to be doing something very exciting with me very soon. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Does your MD network provide MDs in plastic or derm for those who want to start? Yes. So if your state requires you to collaborate with a dermatologist or a plastic surgeon, yes, we do have. I have a great one for anybody's in South Florida. I have an amazing surgeon down there who is really nice in collaborating with nurse practitioners and nurses for med spas and aesthetics. But yes, depending on where you are, I mean, well, not depending on who you are, but if you require a dermatologist or plastic surgeon, yes. So you can visit the collaborativephysiciannetwork.com. I want to hear more about services that you guys plan. The top 3, please share in the chat the top 3 services that you want to offer. Yes, some states can be a little harder than others because not everywhere has really caught on to like the med spa industry, honestly. And sometimes it's going to take like one person to really break out in that state or that city. So, but I mean, if you submit the request form, we'll send you more information, and definitely we'll see how you help you. And it also goes by your state guidelines. So if you don't necessarily have to work with a dermatologist or a plastic surgeon, then I definitely would recommend just, we can connect you with either a family or internal medicine physician. And some of them definitely have experience with Botox and fillers and aesthetics. So Jill said Botox, filler, PDO. Okay. Good. All right. Don't forget, if you are watching the replay, please type replay so that I can know who's participating and watching the videos throughout the week. All right. Any other questions regarding today's challenge and information? Yes, Bo, PDO threads. If you have not seen that, definitely look that up. It's a very interesting service. So Merlin said, IV hydration, chemical peels, Botox fillers, and more. Awesome. Shanice asked, there's a lot of med spas in the Atlanta area. How can I set myself apart? Good question. So like I keep saying, you have to find your niche. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're offering services that other med spas aren't offering, but you will have to build and grow your med spa with focus and really niche down to really set yourself apart from everyone. And so tomorrow we will talk about that. And we're going to have a guest speaker tomorrow. I'm excited. So we'll talk about that. Main focus is skincare and weight loss. Awesome. You need that's weight loss is medical weight loss is huge. There's new treatments out there that are FDA approved and actually work, which is what's so exciting and kind of a benefit for anyone that wants to offer medical weight loss. There's a new FDA approved treatment out there that is like $1,200 with and without health insurance, but you can actually offer this service and get the medication, the treatment for way less, way less. And I'll talk about that more on Friday. All for joining